as he's fighting.
Transforming every calorie into raw, unbridled power, he became a true icon of the boxing world. Literally swallowing the punches of physically gifted athletes, he proved that his body is the gold standard of athleticism. Eric Esch, better known as Butterbean, is an incredible phenomenon adored by millions of fans. And in this video, we're serving up the best fights of this 400-pound powerhouse.
Joel Scott, rising young heavyweight.
This is Boxing Space. Here we go. At the dawn of the 20th century, Esch came face to face with a daunting challenge, known as Jackie Beard. Beard had the height and reach advantage and thought he'd easily steamroll the modest chubster.
The tough man competition, and he just turned professional, so he's...
From the first bell, Beard charged forward, effortlessly landing shots on his enormous target.
You saw right there in microcosm. Point out they're using 16...
Soon after, the cocky showboater felt his superiority and began to mock the hefty fighter with unabashed arrogance.
Just smiling through this round. Looking to load up that time. Beard says, no, you hit me on the shoulder.
Butterbean tried to fire back, but Beard dodged every punch with the grace of a goose on ice.
Bean was doing a little hot dogging there.
Yeah, they're like pillows unless you get
more of a pro style than he is a tough man. Right, because Bean just wants to punch it out.
At one point, the braggart was so sure of his victory, he started dancing in celebration early.
4-round fighters. This is the second round fighters. This is the second round.
But Eric wasn't having any of that haughty disco. After refueling his tank with a splash of chocolate syrup during the break, he awoke a beastly appetite. Then, Butterbean absorbed every one of Beard's strikes like sharp, crispy wings.
Right hand, Butterbean.
And with a precise right, sent Beard soaring into the stratosphere. It seemed like this move had been perfected by Esch, as he's often reaching for beer from the top shelf. In 1995, Butterbean was on a winning streak, racking up 9 victories with hardly any effort, collecting opponents' scalps like rare Pokémons. But then, a fighter emerged who struck fear with his unbelievably athletic physique, Doug Norris. The nickname Dangerous warned our chubster that this fight wouldn't be an easy snack.
He won several regional tournaments.
The bout began, and Norris, noticing his opponent's short arms, decided to keep Eric at bay.
Into a folk hero because you announced him
Trying to prove those people wrong.
Norris is round one. In fact, he's landing anytime he feels like it.
Still, in his desperate attempt to reach his opponent, Esch managed to serve Dangerous a couple of punches before his steroid-fueled machine went into a reckless exchange.
Joe Butterbean coming forward with some good shots.
And you're seeing some tough man windmilling by Butterbean. He still has that.
He's getting nailed, though, by Norris.
Not expecting such a surge of cholesterol, Norris dropped the knockout idea. Apparently, Butterbean had a third dinner on the schedule, because by the second round he sent the bodybuilder to build his brain, turning the dangerous into the harmless.
Well, it's wild now, folks, and there goes Doug Norris. Well, he never should have slugged with him. He knows that now.
In doing so, he once again proved that muscles alone don't win fights. Butterbean wasn't about to limit his enormous potential. He dove into MMA in addition to boxing. With 7 victories under his belt, the organizers presented Eric with serious opposition in the form of James Thompson, who had already tamed fighters like Mariusz Pudzianowski and Bob Sapp.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight.
Hey, stop.
Before the fight, Thompson confidently promised he'd finish everything quickly.
I'm going to make it quick, clean, and relatively painful. I just want you to sit back, close your eyes, think of McDonald's, and it'll all be over.
When fight day arrived, the two clashed in the center of the cage.
He's probably going to use his left jab a lot because that.
And that evening, Thompson kept his promise and swiftly ended the fight that had just begun. However, it was he who ended up sitting back.
And I think that there you go. There it is. Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about it. Butterbean has done it.
Thompson still looking for the takedown. I don't think he's quite aware.
Next up for our 170-kilogram dumpling was Jonathan Whitfield, nicknamed the Bull. During the stare-down, Whitfield tried to intimidate our hero with his sheer physical dominance, unaware that Butterbean's only real fears are an empty fridge and a treadmill. The bell rang, and the feast for the chubster began.
Of his 7 fights, but comes in and says, well, Butterbean with 19 wins, 9 first-round wins by Butterbean. Now he rushes in, he sees an opportunity.
Butterbean immediately set about taming the furious bull.
Butterbean knows he's closing in. Whitfield wants it out. And Ed, you were talking about Butterbean trying to get that jab at him. Hey, you want to be famous? Ed,
I called it!
for this one. Now that he's
And after sending Whitfield crashing into the canvas, Eric once again proved that extra weight in boxing is no problem.
Joel Scott, rising young heavyweight. In a terrific Butterbean, seeing him win his 20th against one.
Pat Jackson is another mountain of muscles who couldn't stand the cockiness of those who mocked real athletes. So he stepped in to teach Butterbean a lesson. By that time, our perennial McDonald's regular had 13 wins and 0 losses. Jackson, determined to show the results of his daily gym grind, aimed to erase that sacred 0 in Butterbean's loss column. The fight started, and Esh charged at his opponent like a ravenous predator.
Survival mode. He's not punching much. I don't think he has much on the punch. He's so tired.
Butterbean tried to swing like a pendulum, but with his size, he ended up resembling a wrecking ball.
What a lefty guy. In round 1.
He utilizes every inch of the ring, and he was.
Jackson kept the onslaught at bay with his jabs, nearly puncturing the walking keg of beer that was Butterbean.
For Butterbean, as you heard.
Butterbean tried to dig the body there. Now Jackson stood up there and fight more instinctively if he tries to get too fundamentally oriented.
Then, fueled by a berserk fighting spirit, Esh charged forward blindly, smashing everything, including even the referee.
Right hand, not much behind it. He just reaches out to hold on. Good body work by Butterbean. That's a good idea by him, though.
Try a left hook in the body, then go upstairs. Now he's uppercutting.
The interesting thing, Dave, is he hasn't really hurt Jackson that much with his punch. Jackson is tired.
Tough man type punches, they told him, should have been scheduled for 3.
Yeah, thank you.
Might be one of the most dramatic shots he walked into. Boy, that's combat pain right there.
Seeing such a powerful knockout, Jackson got scared and refused to continue the bout.
The fight, at the end of the round, he's separating the fighters. And referees cannot protect themselves at all times.
That night, Butterbean notched a double victory and, well, earned himself a double Big Mac.
Guy's Terry Wood, who doesn't have to ref anymore. Well,
In 2006, Butterbean squared off against a true steroid machine, Ed White, for the IBA championship belt.
This gave him a new life. And, you know, you have to look at the positives on what.
From the opening bell, this colossal mass of muscles tried to break through the thick, elephant-like skin of the chubster.
Ed White starts out sticking the jab and...
And I have to give him credit.
Butterbean with a possible big money date coming up. Butterbean. That was a big upset.
That night, Butterbean served as the local trauma ambassador, using his fists to add a new client to the emergency room.
Criminal court judge from Reno, Nevada. Butterbean, yep, he's wobbling. High-paced or fast-paced first minute. Oh! Haymaker right hand by Butterbean. Ed White paying the price for dropping his hand so low.
And then, the nutrition hater White sent the musclehead packing, avenging all those poor souls whose donuts he'd swiped in school. By 1999, Butterbean had racked up an astonishing 42 wins, but this meathead wasn't about to stop there. His next target, the title of the Meanest Man Contest, and standing in his way was none other than Kevin Talon. Before the fight even began, Butterbean fixed his hungry gaze on his victim, and as soon as the bell rang, he dove in like he was about to enjoy a feast.
He's inactive after having turned pro at 85. One of them against Talon.
As we come to the end of round number one, Butterbean in control. Talon with some counterpunching of his own. Butterbean missing with a right hand, scoring with a left and a right as Talon comes.
Hobbling Talon's legs, the self-proclaimed king of 4 rounds raced to finish the fight.
Well, how many fights does he have?
Well, Talon just got knocked, and Butterbean trying to add his 30-second knockout. And he sends Talon down here in round 2.
He played the good body shot.
Butterbean comfortably in control in this 4-round bout as he continues to pound the overmatched Talon.
But Talon, showing incredible endurance, kept getting back up, making the audience question whether Butterbean's victory was a sure thing.
To look back on those things. Mark Gastineau, they had him with less than ordinary guys, and when he fought a guy who was just even close to a journeyman.
At one point, it even looked as if Esh was against Evil Dead.
A whole different sport.
Well, the way Talon's getting pounded in.
Butterbean's thinking he's got a guy in front of him who's covering up, so he brings the uppercut up, trying to straighten him up.
Continuing to pummel his opponent, the cholesterol-fueled Homelander decided to put an end to Talon's suffering by pinning him against the ropes and brutally finishing the bout.
It's more exciting, though, when the opponent in front of him can nail him a little bit, like Funmaker, and Talon just can't. And Butterbean finishes him off here in round number 3. Butterbean goes across the ring and congratulates Talon.
Later in 1999, after Butterbean completely dominated his fight with Russell Chastain, the organizers needed a bigger fish for the king of 4 rounds.
Crowd into it. You know, he set that up with a little trickery. He dipped his shoulder like he was going to go to the body.
Enter Peter McNeely, who volunteered to be the first to send Butterbean packing and put an end to that insatiable boar. By then, McNeely boasted a record of 45 wins, 34 of them finishes.
He could smell the kill, and he went right after it. Dropped him. 1:53.
Williams got up, but then, this is all from the first round, went down again.
The outcome of this fight would determine if Butterbean was ready to step up to the next level. When the bout began, both fighters immediately exchanged punches.
Circumstances certainly has had a long time where he was under drugs and heavy drugs. Let's go to this. Butterbean goes right to it.
Then Butterbean unleashed a pendulum-like assault that was executed to perfection. However, McNeely managed to halt those swinging blows.
The fan appeal of this guy in the red, white, blue trunks is very, very palpable.
Unwilling to give up, Butterbean launched into a reckless attack, absorbing and delivering punishment in equal measure.
9 pounds lighter than Butterbean. This is more likable. Oh, he missed with the right. Fires away with a...
Intoxicated by his relentless assault, Butterbean brutally finished McNeely, proving once again he was ready to take on the most dangerous heavyweights.
Oh, a right hand by Butterbean that snapped McNeely's head back. Another uppercut. It's all Butterbean. McNeely ready to go, and that's it. Jane 80 steps in and stops the fight.
He's going to get a fight with Tyson because the people demand it. Mike Tyson will be the laughingstock of the industry.
In the early 21st century, Butterbean faced a true bruiser named Marcus Rode, who had racked up 24 wins, all finishes, in his career. Rode was the perfect candidate to dethrone the king of 4 rounds. As soon as the bell rang, Rode began burning off all of the Chubb's calories.
Big right hand off that fight with Butterbean. Throw that left hook into the body like that.
Will fight one of the top fighters, or is he destined to just be?
Rounders. Well, all I know is when people get a nice job marketing, there's no doubt about it. Look at it.
Apparently, Rode even sported red shorts that night, embracing his inner matador as he dodged every punch from the enraged bull.
Like that, he takes a big swing.
For 2 grueling rounds, the cardio battle raged on.
You gave the first round to Rome.
Yes, I did.
But Rode, setting a blistering pace, didn't realize he'd tire out first, because Butterbean, despite his unassuming appearance, literally wore his opponent out.
Well, he likes to eat, but he doesn't like to eat leather. Butterbean
In the end, Butterbean completely cooked Rode.
He'd be a lot quicker and he could be effective.
He might be able to turn it. Right now, it's just a sideshow.
Big ripping shots by Butterbean. And it started with the body shot with the right hand. And Rode is facing a rugged road right now, trying to get up on his feet. And it is over.
In this video, we've shown you the best fights featuring America's super heavyweights.
Well, it's wild now, folks, and there goes Doug Norris.
Butterbean is a true boxing legend who unquestionably deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame.
Opponent in front of him can nail him a little bit, like Funmaker.
So, what do you think this chubster could do if he were 50 kilograms lighter? Share your thoughts in the comments. This is Boxing Space. See you soon.